You guys got to hear him before, and I got so much great feedback about his presentation that we just had to bring him back. And literally everybody that talked to me about Russ just said, man, I can't say enough about the guy. I loved his presentation. So let's get him up here right away. My very, very good friend, the Vice President of eXp Realty. Give it up for Russ Laggan, baby.
So,
yes. All right. Well, you know what? It's really nice to be asked to come back. That's good, right? There's been times when I did stuff and I'm like, boy, I wonder if I'm ever going to go back there again. The problem is now I have pressure because you guys are expecting me to be good. Good news is I might have something for you. All right. So what I want you to do is if you have a pen or a piece of paper, if you have a pen and you don't have a piece of paper, draw on the table. I don't care. It ain't my table. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to either picture in your head or draw down on a piece of paper. I want you to draw me a coffee mug. Okay. Now keep in mind, I know we're realtors. Can't count above 3%. Can't draw. That's fine. It's okay. Okay. So just do your best. Draw something. Okay. Draw a coffee mug for me. And what I want to do today is I want to shift the way you guys see some of the business. I want to shift the way some of you see where you fit in this business. We're going to talk about the 5 stages of a career. And it's interesting because as I was going through talking to brokerage after brokerage after brokerage and team after team and agent after agent, as part of my role, I'm having these conversations and I'm starting to find everybody's in different spots in their career. And what I started to find is that if I could identify where they were in their career path, then I automatically knew what they would buy. So if you could know what somebody was willing to buy before they knew what they were willing to buy, would that be a cool sales advantage? Yeah, right? So here's the thing. You also need to know where you are on this scale, and you also need to evaluate where you fit on this scale and how you fit on this scale, and then do the math in your head and say, if I keep doing what I'm doing, will I get to where I want to go doing this? If the answer is no, you have to change something. That's why many of you get coaches. And then some of you have done this for a long time and you want to change other people's lives, and that's why you become coaches. So everybody in this room fits into one of these 2 categories. So let's delineate a couple categories of people here. So let me ask you guys, how many of you drew a mug that looks something like this? Yeah? Good. Anybody not draw a mug that looks like that? Sorry, it's hard to see. Yeah? Okay, good. So let's go to another page here. Ready? How many of you drew a mug that looks like this? Yeah? Okay, are you left-handed? Yeah, I'm left-handed. You know what? When I look at a mug, it's like that. Right? Anybody draw a left-handed mug that's not left-handed? Are you an empathetic person? Yes. Yeah, so you look at the person across from you and the coffee that they're drinking looks like that to you, right? Because you're more focused on their coffee mug than you are on your own coffee mug. So you're more likely to take care of other people than take care of yourself. Is that true? That's messed up. He's like, that's messed up. It's messed up that I'm right or it's messed up that I'm wrong? Okay, good. Okay, just wanted to double check, okay? So here's the thing, guys. We have seen this all our lives. So here's what happens is you ask young people this and they'll draw you something that looks like that, or even maybe a little more taper to it, right? They don't, just exactly, Starbucks, right? What do you put coffee in? They don't put coffee in a mug with a handle. When was the last time a 16-year-old made coffee? Oh, the horror. Pedantic living. What kind of parents do you have making them make their own coffee? Okay. So they see things different. So what happens is that we are programmed to see things. And when I say something, then you're programmed to think something. And this actually serves us really well. It can also really harm us. Because when somebody says something, we interpret things based on what we've already seen. Not what they're saying. It's our interpretation of what they're saying. Anybody here married? I've been married 30 years. I know. Woo! All to the same woman. Woo! There's a difference. Okay? I have 5 and I carry the 6. And the third one was great. Okay? All to the same woman. And I realize there are times when we're having conversation and I'm saying something to her and she's like not receiving the message. Right? Or she's saying something to me, and what she's saying to me isn't what she's saying to me, it's what she means behind what she's saying to me that really matters. okay? She's saying coffee mug, I'm looking at this, and she's looking at this, and we're like, okay, same thing. And she's like, no. Do you know how many colors of yellow we went through to get the living room color correct? Damn near one for every year I've been married, okay? And I'm a very patient man. I got to the point where I'm going to take this simple. I've been married a long time. I know how to handle this. Do whatever you want. Okay? All right, so here's the thing, guys. Now, here's the rub. This is going to really mess you up, and then I'm going to get into something interesting, okay? How many of you drew that? Anybody? All right, you've seen this done before. Haven't you? Typically, only people have seen this before have done this, right? Is that a coffee mug? Could be. It's Mike Hellickson. I'm kidding. Sorry, Mike. Couldn't resist. Kidding. Okay. Could this be a coffee mug also? Flip it upside down, right? So what happens is we're programmed to see certain things certain ways, and then when we see things certain ways, sometimes it works great, sometimes it doesn't work great. So what I want to do is I want to show you the 5 stages of a career, and I want to get you guys to get a feel of where you fit in this. And once you understand where you are in this, then you're going to know what you need to focus on next. And here's the reason why I'm doing this. Mike asked me to speak, and I said, Mike, I want to talk about something super simple. And he's like, okay. Have you guys ever seen a plan so complicated it's got to work? No. Okay. So this is going to be super, super simple. And I think what happens is we lose focus because when things aren't going our way and they're not going exactly as we planned, or they weren't going like the year before or the year before that, what do we start to do? We start to change stuff and 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 change stuff. And listen, I am not saying anything bad about what other people have done on this stage. There are some amazing things that you guys have seen to do in your business. But very seldom do I see somebody saying, here's the stuff you need to stop doing in your business. So in order for you to do a lot of the things that you guys have learned over the last couple of days and some of the things that you've seen, and you've seen something that you said, I got to put that in my business now, right? Do you have an overabundance of spare time? No. So what I want you to start thinking is, what are some of the things that I can take out of my business so I can make room for the things that I need to do in my business, okay? So what I want you guys to do, you might have seen this or heard this before, but it popped into my head at about 3 a.m. And I thought, you know what? I want to make sure I talk about this today too, in the short amount of time we have, okay? You want to make a list of the things that you need to do more of, the things that you need to do less of, and the things you need to start doing. Okay, so here's the order. Make a list of the things you need to do less of first. Make room for the things you need to do. Make a list of the things you need to do less of. For some of you guys, it might be watching television less. For some of you, it might be whatever, okay? Insert your thing here, okay? Or it might be that one thing that you've been doing in business, and you're like, I ask this as a coach, or I ask this broker owners all the time. I'm like, is that working? And they're like, no. How long have you been doing it? 10 years. What? Hold on. You've been doing that for 10 years and it's not working? Like, why? It's like, oh, that's what we've always done. Did you guys ever hear the story of the little girls coming up on Thanksgiving time, coming up soon? Super close, right? And the young girl's looking at her mom, and mom's making a ham, and she gets a ham out of the thing and unwraps it. And she cuts an end off one side, she cuts the end off the other side, and she sticks it in the pan, sticks it in the oven. The girl goes, hey, Mom, why did you cut the ends off the ham? She goes, I don't know. That's what my mom always did. She goes, call Grandma. So you pick up the phone, call Grandma. Hey, Grandma, hey, we're just doing the ham, getting ready. By the way, see you in a little while. Looking forward to seeing you. And by the way, granddaughter asked, why do we cut the ends off the ham? And she goes, I don't know. I'm picking up my mom in a couple minutes to come over. Let me ask her. So to get there, grandma, mom, and granddaughter standing there. And granddaughter says, why do we cut the ends off the ham? And the great grandmother looks at him and she's like, because I didn't have a pan that was big enough. 4 generations of people doing the same thing because great grandma didn't have a pan big enough for the ham. So I want you guys to start thinking, are there some things I need to take out of my business? Are there some things that feel good to do but aren't getting me the results that I need? Do I need to take that out of my business? When I sit down with a brokerage or a big team, and I'm sitting down with a team last week, 70 agents, 1,160 closings. By the way, they said yes. Talk about recruiting. Ooh, that was exciting. I was like, what can we take out of your business? He's like, what do you mean? What can we take out of your business? Because you're going to make a transition. You're making a move. You're doing this. We got to take things out. It's time to stop doing the things that don't work for you. And he's like, I never really thought of it like that, because I'm always coming up with new things to do. We sit in meetings at high levels with the C group. I'm vice president level. So I sit in a room and there'll be 20 people. It'll be C group, CEO, COO, CMO, CGOs. Okay. And they're like, oh, we should do this. We should do that. We should do that. We should do this. Never seen one of them put their hand up. And I gave them a hard time about this the other day. And they're like, that's a good point, Russ. Like, I've never seen somebody put their hand up. Wait, we should stop doing this. But in fact, if we don't stop doing the things that don't work, we're not going to get to the things that do work. Okay. So let's dive into this. Okay. So here is the path that almost every real estate agent I know is on. And by the way, a bunch of people that aren't in real estate are on this path too. They start off right here. I don't care where you came from, what business you came from, what age you are. You start off in the real estate business at 0. What that means is you've got $0 doing it and 0 experience. Doesn't matter where you came from. Good news is we get people to come to this business with other experiences that help them move through this path faster. So phase one in your career is typically about this, and you will see this in a lot of real estate agents. Phase one is about, I need to make money. Just got to make money. Got to sell another house, got to make money, right? You get the agent on the other side of the deal. Things aren't going super smooth and they're getting really, really desperate. I love what she said earlier. Be kind to your competition. So here's the thing, guys. I don't know a single real estate agent that got into this business and said, you know what, Russ, I want to make 20 grand. Come on. Not once, right? How many of you guys have done any recruiting or attraction in your career? A couple of you? Okay. Good. The next session I'm doing after this, I'm going to blow this whole thing apart, a bunch of different directions and show you a bunch of dirty little secrets. It's kind of fun. Okay. But like, have you ever sat down with a real estate agent that didn't say they want to make 100 grand a year? Almost always, like, how much money do you want to make? Like, I want to make 100 grand a year. And I'm like, cool, good. Happens agent after agent after agent after agent. That tells me one of two things. Number one, that tells me they've never made 100 grand a year before. Think about it. If you were making $500,000 and $600,000 a year, would you say to me, dude, Russ, I want to make 100 grand a year? You'd never say that, right? The other thing I know is that the person that's saying that, to them, that first $100,000 a year is a game changer. That's a life changer. That's a generation changer. If they do that for 20 years, that's $2 more million that flow through their family hands over the next 20 years. And if they say money can't buy happiness, I'm going to say bullshit. Can't say that word here. Stuff. Didn't say it. It's bull stuff. And here's the reason why it is. Because like, if you don't actually think money can buy you, like, money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you a lot of things that make me happy. Right? If you want to sit in your Lamborghini and cry, it's okay. Leather's nice and supple. It'll soak your tears up just fine. Walking into a restaurant and having the ability to order what you want to eat because you want to eat it, not because you can afford it, that's a game changer for a lot of people. There are people that have scars from being younger when they didn't have that, and they carry that into their adulthood. So what are some of the things you need to let go of? You need to let go of the fact that you were broke at one point and now you're not, and it's okay. Good? Second phase in business is now, hey, I made 100 grand a year. What do? They go, well, now I'll make 200 grand a year. And then they make 200 grand a year. And what do? They move the bar. Now they want to make 300 grand a year. 300 grand a year. Now what do they want to do on Friday night when they get a call at 6 p.m. and it's a buyer they've been doofing around with for the last three years, and they're like, hey, I want to go look at a couple houses tonight. It's Friday night at 6 o'clock. You think you can sneak me into a couple? But I got to be done by 9. At sub 100 grand, you're like, I'll see you in 20 minutes. Right? At 300 grand, you're like, bite me. I either have people for that, or you know what? I'll see you tomorrow between this hour and this hour. And by the way, I don't work Sundays at all. I'm like Chick-fil-A, baby. Okay? So the first step is making enough money. And once you get to enough money, you move the bar. And then when you do that, then you move the bar again. Then when you do that, you move the bar again. And when you do that, you stop taking crap from people that you would have taken crap before from. Okay? And that's normal. That's natural. So then the next thing we need to do is say, how do I get my time under control? So what I want you guys to do in this room right now is to start thinking, okay, I want to have a money goal, but let's build in a time goal with that. Because if you get to 300 grand a year and you're working less than 40 hours a week, are we good? Yeah. Does that make you happy? Money can buy happiness. But it's tied to the fact that you have time. Because if you have money, but you lose your soul, whoops. The old proverbial Christian banana peel. Okay, so money and time, it takes both. So you got to figure out, where am I? Am I on the make more money or control my time? I know when people get to that 300 and 400 thing, then they're like, I don't want to miss every meet with my child. I don't want to miss the child's, easy for me to say. I don't want to miss my child's game. And I don't want to miss the family stuff. And I don't want to miss and I don't want to be on vacation on my phone the whole time, or dinner and the phone the whole time, or go to a movie and have to leave 17 times. I don't want to do that. Okay, so time becomes the number one most important thing. So for you coaches in the room, what I want you to start thinking is, it's not always about money. And I know this group teaches that, but it's about money and having the time also. And once you get those two in balance, then you're working on freedom. You got a little Mel Gibson moment, right? I lay down, throw my guts on the floor, yell, freedom! Because once you get your money and time in balance, then you start thinking, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. You guys heard the old adage, like, realtors don't retire, they die. They never get to hear, so they have to keep working, right? So part of what you guys are doing here, whether you're a coach or whether you're a client, you're helping you guys move through this process, and your coach should be helping you move through this process. And you got to get really clear with each other where you are in this process, what you need to focus on. So once you get the time and money in balance, then you got to start thinking, well, what do I do to actually get free of this so I don't have to do this anymore? Once you get to the point where you don't have to do it anymore, you don't have to trade time for money anymore, you're doing it because you want to. I'm not saying you have to stop doing it. And I meet brokers and owners and team leads. They made a bunch of money. I'm like, do you need to make any more money? No. But I don't want to stop working because I really enjoy this. Why do you enjoy this? Because I like making a difference in people's lives. Ooh. How many of you coaches need more money? Or you're doing it because you want to make a difference in people's lives? You say that's level 4. Level 4 is like, I don't need to do it. Now I can be 100% focused on like all the things I'm doing. Yeah, I want to make money doing it. Money is a barometer of what temperature, like your thermometer isn't the temperature in the room. The thermometer is telling you what the temperature in the room is. The thermostat is you set it and you're like 72, 72. How many of you guys had your room set below 65 last night? Something wrong with these people. Polar bears, just open the windows. You're in Minnesota. Okay, so you've got this freedom moment, then you've got to build a legacy. And what happens is you see people start to really shine when they're in that spot. It's like, I just want to make a difference in this world. There's an energy to that. Do you see them out there making a difference? Okay, so the fourth phase is legacy. The fourth phase is actually legacy for me. I'm building a legacy, so I'm leaving something behind me. I build bass guitars as a hobby. It's kind of something I've done for fun. One of my guitars was played in the Terminator soundtracks. It gives you a little idea how old I am, how long I've been doing it. And I do it for fun. And I know that 200 and 300 years from now, barring somebody doing something stupid with it, like lighting it on fire or running it through a hurricane, those bass guitars are still going to be in one piece. They'll still be playable, probably. So I've got a legacy that's going to way outlive me by doing that. I kind of find that fascinating. Okay, so what are you doing that's going to live past you? And by the way, guys, you don't have to wait until you're financially perfect to be able to start making a difference in other people's lives. And that's why a lot of people coach. Make a difference. When you've got that person that's got level 4 handled and they're like, I've done that, got the money, don't need to do this anymore. I built a legacy. I've got a legacy. And then I go, okay, well, what's next? So I'm talking to this broker owner and he's like, I got it. Already got the legacy. I'm like, great. So I said, so what do you want? And he's like, I don't know, Russ. That's the problem. I don't know what I want. I said, how about if you teach other people how to build their legacy? Just like you did. Show them how to do what you did. Do you think anybody in your group would say, you know what, I want to do what you did? That's pretty cool. You're a great leader. You're an amazing person. No, I want to be like that too. Show me how to go down that path. And he looked at me and he said, you know what, Russ? I didn't think of it like that because I've been out front for so long. I never thought, how do I bring somebody else and how do I elevate somebody to my position so I can step aside and let them have the reins? How can I teach somebody to build their legacy versus just building my own legacy? So level 5 is external facing. My job now is to help you build your legacy and 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 help you get to 4. Wow. I just thought we were selling houses, Russ. Oh, sell houses, get closings. Guys, this business is way more than that because the things that we do touch people's lives. The things that we do make a difference. And the people we do it with makes a difference. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to make a difference. Could I make more money selling houses? Sure. Do I want to do that? No. Okay, so make a difference. So before I leave you guys, I want to leave you with a couple pieces of information. There's a lot of uncertainty in this business, and I have the unfair advantage of being able to travel around the country. Flew like 90,000 miles last year just on Delta. I think Mike's the only one I know that's got a flatter butt than me from flying in an airplane. Sorry, Mike. But flying everywhere, I get to see some stuff, right? So let me show you a couple pieces of market information, because this is something I'm known for, is talking about market data. Okay, so how many houses were sold in the last year? 4.09. What are they projecting for the next year? 4.62. It's BS. What are they projecting for 2025? 5.35. If we were in Colorado, I'd say, hey guys, it's legal here. Is it legal here? I don't even know. Minnesota? Okay, cool. Okay, here. Pass it around. You go out and look at information, guys, and you see information that's wrong over and over and over and over and over. And the problem is we don't know what's right and what's wrong. And when we see stuff like this, you look at the previous statistics. Good news is, by the way, guys, normal plus or minus is around 5.3 to 5.5 million sales per year, which means we've had 1.5 million less sales last year than the year before. Did you guys feel that? Yeah. Okay, so what do we expect to happen next year? So let me show you guys what to expect for the next year, because it's important you know what's coming so you can be ready for it. If I told you in 30 seconds I was going to jump down there and slap that mug and slam my hands on the table and yell, boo, would it scare you? No, not so much, because I told you it's coming, right? But if I did that without telling you, you'd be like, damn, I didn't know Russ could fly. And wow, he hit his hands hard, and I didn't know he could scare me like that. Okay, so let's go through what are we really expecting? Here's what's going on, guys. Who are we doing business with? Let's be clear. 2023 profile of home buyers and sellers. Typical home seller has been in their home for 10 years. If you guys saw me at LABC, I talked about how often the average American is moving. It's at about 10 years. By the way, it's still at about 10 years. Okay, the typical home size is 1,860 square foot. The typical first-time home buyer is 35 years old this year, slightly down from 36 last year. Anybody got kids living at home? In their 30s? That's why. Okay, check this out. While the typical repeat buyer's age fell to 58 years from an all-time high of 59 years. So what we're doing is we're going out into the market, guys, and I want you to think about this, okay? What does this information mean? This information means that if you're like, well, Russ, but TikTok's the biggest rage. Not with 59-year-olds. Okay, so I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just simply saying that look at what you're doing does, where, with whom, and what, and why, and how, and all the rest of that stuff. So where are 58 and 59-year-olds? I'll tell you where 52-year-old still is. Facebook. I love you, man. And the fact that I know what that is alarming too, right? MySpace, yes. Okay. So we've got to start saying, okay, guys, Russ, there are some amazing things going on in this industry, and there's amazing people teaching some amazing things, but let's be really clear. Where are our customers? If we're looking for the second-time home buyers, we're looking for the third and fourth-time home buyers, you got to be looking at a different demographic. The typical person moving in that age group is right around plus or minus 60. So where are they? So let's make sure that we're stopping doing things that aren't working for us, and we're making sure we're doing things that are working for our clientele. So if I want to sell more homes, and I know the people that are selling more homes are at 58 to 60, I'm going to do the things and be in the places that those people are going to see me. Yes? Okay, good. Glad we agree on that. Okay, so here's facts. Okay, we are on track right now for 3.95 million homes sold this year. Earlier in the year, people are saying it's going to be 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. And I was like, no, it can't be. It doesn't work like that, because we've got a classic stall. We've got sellers that can't move because their interest rates are too high. And they're like, if I go from my house now at a 3% interest rate to a house that's half the size with a 7% interest rate, I'm going to have the same amount of payment. And I might as well stay here because I got one kid still living at home that's 34. And by the way, the grandkids are coming over more often so we can use the space. So a lot of them are saying, why move? It would cost me more to live in a smaller house, so they're staying put longer, which is why that average sale time is going on. So now knowing that and factoring that in, year over year, we're looking at a 4-month supply of homes versus a 3.3-month supply of homes. So the home supply has actually gone up a little bit nationally, and you really should know what's going on in your local market, because in my local market, Detroit, and I know, think what picture pops up in your head in Detroit when you say Detroit? 8 miles, easy. Yeah, see 5 mile, 5 miles a mess. Okay, 2.3 month supply of homes and prices going up 7% in the last year. Detroit. Wow. So it's important that you know your local market data and your local market knowledge. So 4 months supply of homes national has gone up a little bit, which means we have a little bit higher supply, but we still don't have enough supply to be an actual buyer's market. We're still a seller's market at 4 months supply of homes. And by the way, guys, if interest rates drop down a little bit, they're going to gobble up the inventory, the extra inventory, as soon as that interest rate drops down a little bit. So we'll see that happen. And then what happens to supply of homes? Supply of homes is more likely to go down a little bit. So do you need to make sure you have a plan for that? Yes. Okay. Median sales price is up again year over year, 4.2%. There's like, prices are going to stall. Prices are going down. No, overpriced houses actually had to be corrected back to a price that was right and then get sold. They didn't have a lot of price reductions in most neighborhoods. It wasn't the value that went down. It was the fact that they priced it overpriced and they had to get it back to normal and correct. Okay. So year over year nationally still up. Last thing is consumer index, pending home sales index. By the way, normal is 100. It's based off 100. If it's south of 100, that means we have a shortage of pending sales compared to normal. If it's over 100, that means we have more than normal, which means across the country, West, still way low pending sales. Midwest, a little bit higher, but still way below. South is actually getting closer because a lot of people move down there, so it's getting a little bit closer. But still looking nationally, we're still looking at a shortage of pending home sales, which means overall home sales are going to stay down. So what does that mean to you? What that means to you is, number one, figure out where you're at in this world and where you're at on this curve. Number two, be okay with where you are. You are where you are for a reason. It's okay. And it's also okay to want something different than that. If you want to go for the money thing, go for the money thing, but make sure you're doing the time thing at the same time. If you're a coach, help them with the time thing along with the money thing. If you're a client, let your coach guide you into doing both of those well. And then start setting yourself up for future. Start setting yourself up for freedom, because this job isn't about making money. It's what you get to do with it. And I want you spending more time with the people that matter to you, because that's what really matters in this world. Thank you for your time, Michael.
You're rocking, as always. Thank you very, very much, Russ. Dude, isn't he awesome? Give him another round of applause. Seriously.